Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Episode 31 of Sundays with Craven. How are we all doing this evening? I hope you've had a really nice weekend, and thank you so much to all of you that have decided to join us here 7 o'clock for Sundays with Craven. And it's going to be a really interesting episode tonight. We're going to talk all things shiny, precious metals, silver and gold, and we're going to talk about what is potentially the realistic norm for stackers right now in 2026. We're going to have a good old chinwag, and I've got a special guest, a good friend of mine, to do just that with. Before we get into that and introduce them, let's see who has joined us so far. So I'm going to have a look in the chat and shout out some names. I'm trying a new setup tonight. I'll show you shortly. I've got 2 cameras on the go, and so does my special guest, Andy. Let me know what you think. I'm trying out some new things, and we'll go from there. So I'll look down there so I can see Benson. Good to see you, mate. Always good to see you. And now my other phone has frozen. I can see Ian Atterbury, the humble stacker. I can see Glassveo, Shiny, Happy Tiger. I can see, who else can I see here? Miss Stacking with Craven. Thank you for being here as always, my better half. BBA, the People's Champion. Thank you so much. What else have we got coming in here? The Stat Collector, thank you so much, TSC, for joining. Great to see you. I enjoyed tuning in to the Stat Chat last night for a little bit as well. Thank you so much. I can see Noxuka86. Excuse me. Thank you so much. If I absolutely butchered your name, I am really sorry. Baron Bansky, good to see you. Have I missed anyone? If I have, do not worry. Fear not. I want you to be part of the conversation. There is going to be a designated segment as part of this live stream where we just talk to your chat and we feed off the questions and talk about the topics you want us to talk about. So please feel free throughout to put your comments in. We will go in and out of the chat whilst we're having a conversation. And I can't wait to do so. Hello to CY Stirling as well. Thank you so much for joining me. So without further ado, this is where I'm going to press this button. Let's see if this works smoothly. Going to have 4 cameras on the go, guys. I'm going to bring in the special guest, good friend of mine, Creative Precious Metals, CPM, Andy. Thank you so much for coming on, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Thank you very much. This is really cool. I remember it was quite a while ago that I was on your first one, I think. So, it's quite a privilege to be on another one. I'm really good, mate.
Yeah, no, it is. And I was looking back. I think it was September last year that you came on the podcast. Wow. It was my first live podcast on the YouTube platform when I moved over from Discord in Stacker Social. So time has flown since then and a lot has changed. And I'd like to, as we always do, I'd like to have a good old chinwag and go into the details about what's changed and what your thoughts are on that topic this evening.
Yeah, sounds good, mate. There's so much has changed. It's been a crazy 2025. Well, the end of 2024, 2025, been absolutely crazy. We've witnessed something that I felt could happen, but not to the extent of what it has happened. And we've seen lots and lots of changes, mate, as well. The community's grown. There's new people in. Many new faces, and I expect, as we'll probably explore on our chat, that it's had all sorts of effects on probably most of us. It definitely has on me.
Yeah, I think that's relative to all of us stackers with the changes that have gone on. Volatile markets, everything's jumping up and down, and it's always a topic of conversation. But we're here because of what brought us all here. The love of stacking, and that's what I really want to dive into tonight, especially with you, in line with little projects that you're currently working on, which I'll dive into more. But this is a good starting point for me, questions wise. So I don't want to talk too much about the price in this episode. Spot price, that goes up and down. We know that. We spoke about that. We speak about it every week. What I do want to speak about is weight. And by weight, I mean what size or weight in ounces of metal are you buying? And
I'm really pleased you just said the metals, because I thought you might say I've put on weight since you last spoke to me, which I probably have, to be
I
fair.
was sugarcoating it. I was going around the edges, being polite. But yeah, no, not the price so much, but we're always looking to
Yeah.
add to our stack on a consistent basis. But where I'd like to start, Andy, has the norm, i.e., 1 ounce, maybe for silver, changed recently? And why do you think that is? And talk to me about that a little bit.
It's a great question, and it's, you know, trying to work out how to answer that. We can't avoid price to a degree. I believe personally that for all the blogs I've been putting together over, the back end of last year and the beginning of this year, it's very apparent that we've gone through, and we are going through a cost of living crisis. I think that's playing a very important part on maybe how most people can view how they used to stack, or they're going to stack going forward. And for me, to cut a long story short, I was thinking the other day, and I put this on a video at the start of this series, and I was just thinking, I've got to speak to a few people, and with the price changes that's gone on over this, last sort of 12, 13, 14 months, the way we view, or the way I personally view, and possibly others, is we can't no longer maybe afford what I took for granted sort of like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So where maybe the community has always looked at, get an ounce, get 2 ounces, get 3 ounces, get 4 ounces, because of the affordability of it, maybe for most people. I think with this price movement, it's probably maybe had an effect on that stacking mentality for many of us. It certainly has for me personally, and it's really made me sort of sit back and think, do I continue? How can I continue? And it's been a big psychological journey for me to get over this change, because I just looked at everything as 1 ounce coins. So I had this mad moment in my mind, along with, which we'll probably talk about a bit later, helping other people try to get back to that level of why did I really get into stacking? Is it possible to have that same enthusiasm now? And the only way I could see that was to maybe look at fractional as the same way as I looked at an ounce. And that sort of kicked in and thought, that sort of makes sense. And I started this stacking fractional journey a week ago, and I thought, that could maybe hopefully give people some confidence to think, we can continue to stack even though the prices have gone through the roof. Look at affordability and so on and so on and so on. And to cut long story short, that's been my journey. But I don't think we can just discount price, because I think it's had a really big effect on what we've all done. And for you, I know you've been in just maybe a year now, and I've been in 5 years now. This last 14 months has had I believe a major effect on what we do and how we get this spirit back to make sure that we continue that process, and any new people coming in can get confidence to do the same, but on a different, maybe looking at it slightly differently. Does that make sense?
It certainly does, and I just sat there listening to what you're saying, because I find it really interesting. And I think that the main point within that is the affordability aspect, because as a stacker, if you're in that growth stage where you want to consistently add weight to your stack because you've maybe got a goal in mind you want to get to, we've become accustomed to maybe buying ounces at a time, 1 ounce silver Britannias if you're in the UK, that kind of thing. And now, for the same money that maybe you were 12 months ago, you might have got a Britannia for £30. Now, if you go to spend your £30, that's your disposable income you want to spend on a weekly or monthly basis, for that same amount of money, your hard-earned cash, you can only get, say, a quarter ounce. So all of a sudden, there's this mindset of, oh, I can't buy ounces anymore, So maybe some people are put off buying fractional, and the premiums are higher on fractional, so you don't feel like you're getting as good value. But affordability is very important, and you should always use that as a guide. And when I talked before, and I want to hear your take on this, about just the love of stacking, the spirit of stacking, that feeling of unboxing more coins as you grow your stack, setting goals, getting to those goals. I love what you're doing with your new series, which I want to talk about now. And you basically got a goal of getting to 10 ounces. And the first, I don't want to say too much because if people haven't seen it, go over and check the first video out on Andy's channel. But can I say what the first coin was? Because we sort of spoke about it.
Yep,
You got it right there?
It's right there.
Yeah. A 1/4 ounce silver Britannia, guys. And I believe, based on what we're talking about, it was about £31 from Bullion by Post. Is that right?
It was indeed. And Craven, it was so exciting because I've just briefly gone through how I got to this position. And I've been in the doldrums with it all, which maybe a lot of people have, I don't know. But personally, I have, trying to think. I'm in many different investments, as most people will probably know if they follow what I do. But as far as the stacking thing, I just went into such a doldrum, and this has given me a new lease of life because it's just not only allowed me to get that spirit back for myself, but it's also given me the opportunity to try and help others that may be thinking about stacking from new, make it affordable, and set myself a challenge myself, and try and encourage people that are thinking about it, but maybe just thinking I can't afford to because they're only looking at we can only do an ounce bit, and they might not be able to afford it. It's really brought a happy smile back to me, and that's brought back lots of memories of when I first started stacking, and getting that first piece back 5 years ago when I opened this little 1/4 ounce the other day. That just brought back so many memories, and I was just so excited. And I thought, wow, this is possible. This is possible at this level. It doesn't matter whether it's a 1/4 ounce, 1/10 ounce. I know there's the premium side of it all, but it just makes it. I wasn't thinking about how much I spent overly. It was just, wow, I have a piece of silver. And it just reminded me of getting my first piece 5 years ago, and I thought, wow, if that can work for me, if that can work for me, and I've got a stack, I'm very privileged, I'm very lucky. If that can work for me, then surely if I can show that in some way for a series of videos, that can encourage people to not necessarily newbies, but people that are just in that quandary. Is it worth it? Is it not? With the price of everything. But yeah, it is worth it if you want to. It's really cool, man. It's really great.
It is, and I like the points that you make, and specifically, if we talk here about people who are maybe seasoned stackers with these changes. Do you think that because people are not necessarily able to buy the same weight for the same amount of money anymore because the prices have gone up, so you're looking at maybe fractional options, which is more affordable? Do you think some people are potentially disheartened by that and put off by buying, say, a 1/4 ounce Britannia because they think, it's not as much growth? But in reality, you are adding to the stack, and it is growth. What do you think about that? Do you think some people maybe think, if I'm not adding at least an ounce, I'm not going to bother? Do you think that's a message that some people need to hear? Encouragement that if you are adding to the stack and you're adapting to this modern market by doing so with fractional, you're still making great progress.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Because we were speaking about it the other day, and I was saying, like, I personally went through this. We've been spoiled. If you've been in this space for a while, you've been spoiled, purely because, for argument's sake, I was privileged enough to buy, certain 1 ounce coins for £18, £17, back in the day,
Wow.
which wasn't that long ago. So, and I got very used to that for quite a few years. So, I was able to add weight fairly quickly. And then with what's happened over this last 12, 14 months, 15 months, that psychologically affected me to think I can't buy the same quantity of amount of 1 ounce silver. So why am I bothering? Because you get during my journey, and we used to have lots of conversations about that. The premiums are higher on fractionals, so it wasn't worth buying. But then you didn't worry about it overly too much. I know some people aren't as privileged even back then, but I'm just talking generally. You didn't worry about the fractional side because you could afford a 1 ounce or 5 ounce or a 2 ounce or a 10 ounce. 10 ounces silver is like 250 quid. It's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous when you look at it in today's terms. So I had this massive, silly psychological barrier that just I didn't realize was going on. That was affecting me, and I just went, right, I'm not buying anymore. And I don't think I bought anything since maybe other than collectible pieces to keep my date ones going, or the collections I've got going. As a rule, just general bullion. I don't think I did anything for 4 or 5 months until I just had this moment, and I just thought, what am I doing? What am I doing? And you quite rightly, said that even though I've set myself a challenge of 10 ounces with fractional, I'm still adding weight to my stack.
That's what it's all about, right?
Absolutely regardless, which is what the spirit of how I got into this space was all about. It wasn't about anything else. It was about stacking weight. Yeah, I got into the collectible side, but it was more affordable, obviously, at the time. But it was all about the excitement and adding weight, and then you go on this learning curve, wherever you want to take your learning curve, into other things or not. So yeah, it's really, as probably people that may watch my videos can see, that I'm really sort of up and really excited about what I'm trying to achieve here.
Yeah, and so am I as a viewer and a subscriber of your channel. And once again, guys, if you're not subscribed to Andy, go over there, check out this series that he started, because it's really interesting. And I said this to you when we spoke privately, mate, that seeing yourself do it, because you're a seasoned stacker, you've been in the investing game for a long time, and my initial reaction when I saw this was I was very refreshed by what you're doing, because I thought, well, this is a seasoned stacker. You've probably not necessarily looked at fractional before on the silver side, maybe gold, but not silver, just because, as you say, you could pick up ounces in the past, years gone by, for say £18. Now you're paying 4 or 5 times that, give or take. And to see you doing that, it was very refreshing. I thought, he's not turned his nose up at the fractional stuff, and this is what it's all about. You're working with a set budget that you choose to spend. Whether you could spend more or not, it's not the point. You've got a budget you set to, and you're converting that. You're doing an exchange of currency for what we call real money, and that's what we believe in. And quite want to ask you, with everything that's going on in the world right now, economic uncertainty, wars, all sorts. I won't name an exhaustive list. We kind of know what's going on. The world's in a bit of chaos right now. Do you still have the same belief in precious metals? Do you have more belief in precious metals? And what do you think the future holds? Because you're now moving into a little period where you're still stacking. You hadn't stacked for a while. You were sort of holding. You're happy with what you've got. Maybe looking at other investments. Now you're stacking some fractional. You've got a goal of 10 ounces. But where do you sit on the future of precious metals? as an investment for people listening who maybe earlier in their journey, or considering they haven't started yet, or something like that? What would your thoughts be about where we're going here?
Wow, that is a super question, dude, and one that can take you down many different avenues. What are my viewpoints on precious metals? So, okay, I'll be fundamentally honest with you. If I did not believe that I could see any value in going back into, setting myself challenges with stacking, and more importantly, encouraging new people and trying to run alongside new people to get into the space. If I didn't think that silver, gold, precious metals, whatever bracket you want to put around it, had any value in going through this procedure, then I wouldn't do it. So the first answer is yes, I do believe it does play an important role. How I see that role now, I see very differently to when I first started stacking, purely because of what I've the avenue of learning that I've wanted to undertake, not just for myself, but for my family and different members of my family. So, really, to wrap it up without going down too deep a rabbit hole, yeah, definitely, there is so much scope. And one of the biggest things that I've personally learned just by getting into this space, hopefully, others, if they go down the same sort of route as or a similar route to what I have, it unleashes a whole world of learning about economics and value and how the monetary system works in the world. And that, for me personally, has been a massive game changing emotion experience over the last 5 years, and it continues to do so. Without going too deep on that, hopefully that would it sort of answer your question. It definitely has got a role to play.
It does, and I'm seeing some of the comments coming through, guys, and I love seeing them as Andy's speaking. And we will focus on the chat shortly, and there'll be a designated section as well where we can go through questions. But I do love seeing your questions, and I am reading them. And the sense that I get it, and this is off the back of what you said, I love the answer, Andy. But I want to split it into two sections. You spoke about potentially the future and where precious metals sit as an investment. But another important factor to make, and somebody did put this in the chat, I think it was Strag Silver, so thank you for the comment, who said fractionals are not only good to stack, they are fun to have and hold. And this goes back to the point and why I was excited to talk about this with you. We could talk about the investment side all day, but I'm here every week, guys, and looking at different things. I browse websites all the time. I talk about this. Is there a point to say that a percentage of this whole stacking journey is hobby and enjoyment? It's not 100% just an investment. It's enjoyment, it's collectability, it's setting goals and achieving them. And that's success in itself. Whatever the price does, whatever's going on, it will continue to go up and down. And we'll continue to talk about that. But it seems to me, Andy, with that in mind, that what you've found now, having been a stacker for a longer period of time, maybe longer than most, is that it's maybe more the enjoyment side right now than the investment. Because, if you stack for a while, deciding to start again and look to build 10 ounces through fractional is maybe not going to make a huge dent on the stack you've already got, but it's more on the fun side. Is that right to say, or am I wrong there?
No, it's right to say. Okay, personally, I will say it again. It's brought back the pure fundamentals, which is, there is an element of fun, excitement, that adrenaline and the rush of, oh God, I've been to work, earned a few quid, now I put it, or I'm doing something else to create the money, to put it into something that I can hold. I mean, don't forget, precious metals is one of the very few things that you can actually hold your wealth you know, and that's an important thing because that's a big human thing. It's our relationship with feely touchy stuff, you know, and the visual of, oh, that looks nice, you know. It's a very human thing, and that has been really cool for me. But there is, unfortunately, because of the current climate conditions, especially in the UK, probably in many parts of across the world, then there is more of a protection learning, maybe a good learning lesson that we can learn by doing something like this, even at whatever level you are, whatever your circumstances you are, whether you know you've got a great, what you classify as a great job that gives you lots of income, or just a little bit of income, working with people that have just got hardly anything, you know, at the moment. But the fundamentals are the same, because I think it's really important that we can use the spirit of what we do with precious metals and our relationship with our time and energy, and then that transfer into something, you know, that's let me find it, that's really cool, you know, that you can sit there and go, okay, I worked really hard this week, I was disciplined, and now I transferred it into something that over a long period of time we might witness something that we've just gone through again, and we've managed to preserve it. And that's the excitement, that's the fundamentals of being able to hold it. You go through this whole journey, and that journey should be no different whether you've got £1,000 a month disposable income to put into investments, or you've got 30 or 20 or 15. The fundamentals are exactly the same, and that's really hit me hard. And because of, you know, our situation we find ourselves in economically, you know. So yeah, and that's a buzz, man. It's such a buzz to find that now. And then, as I said in one of my videos, I could have just walked away. I'm fine. I don't want anything. I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing. But just thinking, wow, you know, how can we, you know, get some spirit going back and get some new people in, because they need it if they want it, and make those avenues and channels open again, and just say, look, this is cool, this is great, this is a really good thing to do if you want to, if you apply yourself. And yeah, I'm buzzing about it all, mate, really, to be fair, as you can
I
probably
love
tell.
to hear it. I can see, as a friend speaking, and speaking to you at different points throughout your journey since I've got involved and got to know you, Andy, and I can see you've got your mojo back. I can see that excitement, and it's good to see it, and it has a knock-on effect, because I feel excited about hitting goals and stuff, and setting more goals, and just looking to build. That's what it's all about. It's not the price of the metal, it's the weight that you're adding. And even if that's less than what it was, if you're still adding and it's affordable for you, then you're winning. You're sticking to a budget and you're adding weight, and that's what stacking is all about, guys. Something that comes into play, we speak about fractional, but I also think, and people have mentioned this in the comments, which I appreciate, a lot of people, it's very popular, especially with silver, is to look here in the UK, pre-decimal 925 sterling silver, and across the pond in the US, some of the constitutional silver, 90%, peace dollars, Morgan dollars, dimes, that kind of thing. Very popular in terms of getting it near the spot price when we talk about value. So I want to bring in, would you have the same approach to any silver, or are you more set on bullion? And I've got a nice, whilst we hear that, because I just love talking about, it's all silver at the end of the day, it's all relevant. I've got a lovely Gothic florin here, guys. If you like your pre-decimal, this one's a personal favorite of mine. Beautiful Gothic florin, very popular coin. I've also got a rocking horse crown. This one's 50% silver. I know CL4 Hordian, he's in the audience, he'll appreciate that. Really, really nice 1935 rocking horse crown. But that was a little show and tell. But just on the pre-decimal side, how do you view that compared to bullion, mate? Is it the same? Is silver just still, it's the metal? Or do you think differently?
See, this is this is the magic of the experience of what I'm going through. You know me. I'll either do something at I'll either do it at 100%, 110%, which is a stupid thing to say, but you know what I mean, or I won't do it at all. So I set my mind on that, and ever since I did that, since I put this first video out just over a week ago, I believe, or 2 weeks ago, it's forced me to now look at exactly what you're saying. How do I get and how can I go out there and look, because it's really important what I'm trying to do here on a budget, get the maximum silver pure for your money. And I'm going to be totally honest here. I just poo-pooed all that, you know, the crowns and all that sort of stuff. I wasn't interested in it whatsoever once upon a time. But that goes back to you could just buy 1 ounce of pure silver at affordable prices. So I was not interested. Very naive of me, whatever. This though has made me change my mind and actually start researching on Morgan dollars, half dollars, stuff that's around, you know, your 925 stuff. I'm no expert at the moment. I can't reveal some of the things because they're upcoming videos, but I didn't know that. Is it 1964? It was 90% silver on Morgan dollars, was it? And then after that, it reduced or something.
I'm not 100% on the US side. People will know in the chat for sure.
So
but,
I have spent hours, you know what I'm like, hours and hours with my AI friend, educating myself on alternatives to just bullion to get value for money. And that's been a great eye opener for me. And yeah, I've changed my mind on it, dude. I'm now looking. I go and get my grandson some Pokemon cards every week at a local antiques place. And now I go in there and I'm asking him about, you know, anything silver wise, what you got. And I can't talk too much because I did do something. And but I'm going to put that on a video. But dude, and that's taught me so much. And this is what I'm really enjoying, because I'm learning something new myself. And that in turn will hopefully come across in videos and, you know, and the group I'm setting up to help people get good value for money from a very small budget, the best way possible. You know, it's
100%.
It's very appropriate you brought it up, because
it is, and the reason being is because if you're a stacker in itself is someone who wants to build weight rather than a collector that's looking for specific things, maybe not the best value based on what it's worth intrinsically. If you're a stacker solely and purely, you want the metal in whichever form it comes at the best value. And that's the way I see it. And I opened my eyes to the pre-decimal 925 sterling silver very early on. I love it. There's a collectability factor. You want some of these, you know, I showed a Gothic florin. I've got a rocking horse crown. But I paid spot for those. And, you know, it's really fun as well. There's the history behind them. Just on the point you said, Andy, CY Sterling, thank you for the comment, mate. He replied to what you said about the American constitutional silver. So you were right. Dimes, quarters, and halves up to 1964 are 90% silver. So that was correct. But yeah, I think just on that, to summarize, mate, it's interesting how you explained how you changed your view. And I like that, because I've always sort of had the mindset of whichever form it comes in. I mean, for God's sake, I didn't buy it, but I've got a silver fork, sterling silver fork, that was gifted to me by a Scottish bullion collector, and that's cool. It's sterling silver. It's not, I wouldn't stack forks, but I mean, you know, if I went to an antique store, like you said, and he said, I've got all these forks, and he'd sell them me for spot, I'd probably buy it. Yeah, maybe less than spot sometimes.
Dude, it makes sense. It makes sense. Okay, you have to. I mean, it's a personal thing, isn't it? At the end of the day, but from what I'm doing now, especially with the conditions of our current, I know I keep saying about it, but it's reality, you know, current cost of living. It's forcing me to, you know, if I'm going to, well, I am talking to some people about, you know, trying to create some sort of wealth for themselves, you know, on very little budgets. So it's made me absolutely realize that you can, as probably some of your viewers are very aware, and yourself is very aware, that you can add weight to your stack. And I've actually done it myself now very quickly. And it's just changed my mentality, totally changed it. And that's got to be for the good, you know, because I can actually walk the walk and not just, you know, poo-poo something, or, you know, I'm prepared to challenge what I believed in, or my own prejudice against whatever, and I'm prepared to challenge it, and then see the advantages of challenging it for myself. And again, by me experiencing that, I can then pass it on to other people that may be going through the same process, you know.
Yeah. And you know what,
Stuff,
Andy,
man. It's brilliant.
I loved it. I think this would be a good time to dive into the chat a little bit, just because I want to hear, you know, on the topic that we just spoke about, kind of adapting to the times, basically, is the general message. And sometimes people's view changes over time. Your perspective certainly changed. Your approach has changed to how you acquire the metal, and what your thought process is. Guys in the chat, I really appreciate your comments all the way through. It's good to see the chat is really active. 38 of you tuned in live watching this podcast right now. So thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are enjoying this, please just take a second, hit the like button. It lets me know that you are enjoying it. And we're here every week, Sunday, 7 p.m. So guys in the chat, I'm going to be focusing on the comments. We'll read these comments out, see what Andy's thoughts are on them. I just want to hear what your opinion is on the topic of conversation today, which is kind of the fractional route. Adding, it can be gold or silver, but adding weight to your stack in a different way than what you maybe were before. So what is your approach? Is anyone else looking at the fractional options? What are your whole thoughts about what we've been speaking about? I will be reading through the comments, and we'll be having a quick conversation about what you think. So let's see. Strag Silver says, I'm not seeing temps under £12.50, so that'll be in regards to silver, and just cannot pay that premium. I can get a quarter for £23 to £24. So this is a point made, Andy, about when you do drop down to fractional, you're obviously, the smaller you go, the more of a premium you pay. What would be your response to people that are put off by that, basically?
Yeah, I mentioned it on one, you know, on either the first video of this series, and I can sympathise with that totally, because I've been in this space for ages, and I can see the premiums, I can see all that. But I think I explained on that video that there's always going to be people that are aware of that, but there's always going to be people that may be aware of it, but that's their barrier, and they may not be disciplined. You know, I think I mentioned it. Some people just aren't disciplined to save for that 1 ounce, but they still want to get in and experience that stacking. So, you know, I had to get over my own personal, to go down this supportive role. I had to get over that myself personally, and just look at it. Okay, if someone just went out there, had £30, £12, £15, whatever, and they just wanted to get rid of that money because they don't like holding on to it, because, you know, if they don't, it will just go on something else, or they're not disciplined because they haven't got that fundamental connection with what they're trying to do, which comes in time when you start stacking. And I know that personally. Then maybe there, you know, you just have, maybe some people just will be okay with it, you know, it's okay. And then later on in the line, I might think, oh my God, like, if I was a little bit disciplined, once they've got 1 or 2 ounces, maybe they might educate themselves, which is the process, educate themselves and think, no, it's just worth hanging on because I can get more for my money. And that means that first process of just getting that quarter ounce in front of you, holding it, having two, having three, and thinking that cost me 120 quid for an ounce. Oh, blimey, they're going for £70, 75, 80 quid at this moment, 90, whatever. Oh, I might just hang on and save my money because I can save myself money. And then hopefully, not all people, hopefully at a very early stage, it will educate people to see value in what they're doing and then go, okay, I might just wait another couple of months or another couple of weeks, whatever the time period it is, and save up for that 1 ounce. And then when they get that 1 ounce and relate it to, oh, wow, I've just saved myself 30, 40 pounds, I can buy another quarter ounce now. They've got more. So it's an educational route, and albeit I might have a prejudice against the process, it doesn't, if I'm too harsh on it, then someone that wants to get in that hasn't got that discipline yet might not get in to then experience the discipline later. Happy days, So that's the thing I had to battle around with in my head when I've thought, okay, no, I'm going to do this, and then just work with other people on it.
Oh, sorry, early dinner.
Yeah, that's it, and that's a really good answer. And I think a lot of people, especially with fractional, will have different opinions, and this is what makes it a good talking point, guys. Because the reason why it's been put up is because my opinion's changed, and your opinion has certainly changed, Andy, as you've explained. But I'm keen to get through some more comments. I'll read some out, and then if there's some that we could maybe speak on a bit, we'll point those out. Also, hello and shout out to Josh McDonald Bullion. Thank you so much for joining in on the live, mate. Great to see you in here. So Shiny Silver says, I bought some fractional, but would rather buy a whole ounce or pre-decimal. I would rather buy it too. It's just sometimes if you're really strict on your budget, it's not always possible. So like Andy explained, you're going to make that decision of whether you're going to save your money and wait till you can, or buy what you can at that point at a smaller weight, potentially fractional, just because you believe in the metal.
Yeah, there's another important point on there as well for some people, and it's for me like trying to forget about me and what I believe in. But some people may think, oh God, yeah, I've managed to get £100. I'm going to buy a 1 ounce silver coin in the early days, and then not really thought about what they've done. They just got excited about the prospect, or their egos kicked in and thought, oh, look what I've got, look what I've got. And then find themselves, because they haven't really settled down with a process, find themselves, oh, sod it, I've got to sell it because I'm a little bit short. Whereas if they've only spent £30, they've still got something in front of them, feedy, touchy, whatever, but maybe they might not have that same pressure to sell. So for me, I've had to really think, and I'm very privileged because I'm working with some people that have got very, very low budgets, and it's made me understand that my mentality is very different to other people, and it's really made me really think hard of, how come these people that are in a very different position to myself get into stacking and enjoy it with the spirit of what I've enjoyed at a different level, maybe, but the basics have had a massive knock-on effect for me, and hopefully they will for them.
Such good points. It really, really is. Yeah, thank you, Andy. I'm going to keep reading through. I'm hoping we don't miss it. If I do miss a comment here and there, guys, I'm really sorry. I'm trying my best, but there's some really good points being made. I appreciate your perspective on all of it, Andy. This is really interesting. So the humble stacker says, I stack what I can, where I can. IWM, not sure what that means, sorry. I think it means I am a stacker, not an investor. I'd buy on a schedule. I like that. Yeah, consistency. That's really, really good. X20 Precious Metals, thank you for tuning in, mate. Says 100% fractional when it comes to gold. Okay, yeah, I think gold's a different story based on affordability. Fractional's very realistic for most. There's a lot of people talking about the 1 gram golds, a lot of interest in things like the TABX subscription if you want that consistency, 130, 140 pounds a month if you can spare it, and you get one free after the 12 months. There are options there, and it builds up nicely. When it comes to gold, yeah, 1 grams, quarter sovereigns, up to 1/10 are the best option. Yeah, and I'm seeing an increasing popularity. That's why I put a 1/10 gold Britannia in the thumbnail. And this is specific to me. I'll tell you, Andy, where my process changed. When I started, I was like, oh, I want to get into gold. I'll just put this on your screen now to focus on what you're showing whilst I explain this. But yeah, I can see some lovely gold there. Is that a 1/10?
Yeah, it's 1/10. What is it? It's one of the
Lunar?
lunar dragons that I picked up.
Beautiful.
Back some time ago. But even for gold, for me, I still look at the principles are the same. It's affordability, where your price point is. Gold. You bring gold into it, fractional, and a lot of people go, yeah, fractional, because of the price point. And it is because of the price point, I think more. And the same for me. For what I'm trying to achieve, and I keep saying about it, I've got to try and remember that some people will see that even in silver, and they're the ones that I really want to encourage and not let get put off to think, oh, it's not a good thing to do. It's a bloody good thing to do, because once you go on that journey, then off you go, but it's difficult, because I'm sure a lot of the people that follow your channel and a lot of people that I interact with have been around the space for a long time, and we've got very different viewpoints on things. So yeah, I respect that 100%, because most of it I could agree with totally.
That's it, yeah, and the price point does dictate where the more realistic entry points are into metals. For me, and the point I was going to come on to there is when I started stacking, and I obviously started with silver, and then thought, oh, I want to get some gold as well. My first goal was to get a gold sovereign, and I did go down the route of saving up until I could afford my first full gold sovereign. I wish that I just bought what fractional gold I could have earlier on, because gold climbed in that time. So I paid a lot more for a gold sovereign than I could have got one for five or just over £500 at the start, and I ended up paying I think 700 maybe or just over that for my first gold sovereign. But if I would have bought into fractional, as opposed to keeping the money in the bank where it's not growing, it's actually losing value, I would have been better off. And this is all part of the learning. It's all part of the journey, and it's why we're talking about it. But going to read a few more comments, guys, and we'll go from there. But it is interesting, and opinions over time do change. Okay, what have we got? Love to see the comments, guys. Nerd UK says 1 gram of gold is what I bought a little of right from the start. The idea was to save to buy sovereigns so that my saving would rise with the price of gold. Exactly what I was just talking about. And that it works with the philosophy that you're talking about right now. You're getting in at the affordable price point that you can, rather than leaving the money in the bank, because you feel better about transferring the cash to the metal in the meantime. Would you agree?
100%, 100%, because you grow all the time. You're doing something, whether it's a 1 gram, a tenth, 2 grams, 3 grams, 5 grams, 10 grams, whatever. Once you start, and this is what's reignited my passion. I had to remember when I started what it meant to me and the journey it's took me on personally. I'm not saying that everyone has to copy that. That's for them to find their own journey, But because I started, I didn't sit back because I got in at the price point that I could get in at. It's just can see that it's just made my life so much, I don't say better, because like at the end of the day, precious metals isn't really everything in life, but you know what I mean. You know, it's just starting that pure fact. Just start at a price point. You can, yeah. It might not make sense to some people, but you just have to start. You just have to start, and then you very quickly adapt and learn along your pathway, your timeline within it, and you might change things as you go down the route. It's really cool. It's really cool, and I keep saying this is what I remember 5 years ago. This is why I did what I did, and I stagnated, over the last 18 months, and yeah, now I've got some passion. So yeah, everyone's right, really. There is no right or wrong, but that maybe the wrong thing is to think that you can't start, but we can start.
Yeah, that's a really great message to put out there, Andy. Great answer to that, the way you've explained that. I think as humans, we're all guilty of being so stubborn. We don't like change. We don't like changing our habits, our routine, trying something new that maybe we were previously against the idea of. It's difficult to make that change, to adapt. But it's quite an eye-opener, like you say, when you weigh up different options and actually think, oh, okay, like I just look back on, I could have bought into gold at a fractional size and I would have been better off. That's in hindsight, isn't it? So it's all good looking back, but yeah, there's no right or wrong, guys. It's all about the individual, and affordability is key. We're going to read a few more comments here because there's some really good comments coming in. I'd like to read one from, where is it? I actually just skipped down quite a bit. Sorry, guys, 2 seconds. Where are we? What is going on with my phone? I don't know. I've seen a lot of comments though, guys, about the 1/10 gold Britannias. Seems to be very popular. I think Josh McDonald put one in. I can't find it, but he said he was a convert and he thinks that the 1/10 gold Britannia bullion coins are beautiful. And I never considered 1/10, but now, yeah, I would certainly consider buying a 1/10 gold Britannia if I wanted to invest in gold, because it's interesting how the conversation changes when you switch from silver to gold. If you're someone that's looking to invest in gold more than silver, if that's what you're looking to do, then price is relevant massively, because an ounce of gold is not too far away from £4,000. So you're probably not going to buy an ounce in one go, or most people probably aren't. Therefore, you're going to break it down and maybe make that 1 ounce your goal, such as Andy said about setting a goal and looking how you can get there and setting an affordable amount. So that is probably, for me, if I was thinking what's affordable, how would I get there? I would go down the 1 gram route. If I could shift that to 1/10, if I had a bit more money, I would. But probably 1 gram is probably the entry point into gold. In my opinion, Andy, what would you say? Just on gold for a second.
100%. It's no different. The philosophy is exactly the same. It all comes down to what you can afford and your entry point. Obviously what your goals are, why you're doing it, but it fundamentally always comes down to what can I afford? What's my entry point? And is my entry point a way of getting in? Now, I don't know if you've noticed that, again, from when I look back, I've been so privileged to be in this space, and it's only been 5 years. I know a lot of people have been in a lot longer than that, but I could buy temps. I've got the Cook range in the temps. I've got different designs in dragons and bits and pieces. I was buying them at like under, probably I think around 160, 170, for a tenth of gold. Now you look at a gram now. Gram, I think most people are trying to sell, a gram of gold between 130 and 140. It's not far off of what I was paying for a tenth a little while ago. but again, it was all about entry point, and because gold has gone on this, well, precious metals as a whole has just gone on this absolute rip so quickly that I said in one of my blogs, I said, I bet people's wages haven't increased in the same way. So something has to fundamentally change. We have to give in to it. And fortunately enough, that there's entry points still for everybody at most affordability ranges. And I've noticed, you're getting real small fractional pieces of gold come out on the market now. That's another conversation. But there's
you can buy a grain of gold now, Andy.
Exactly.
You can buy half a grain.
So you can buy gold at 20 quid if you wanted to buy a gold at 20 quid. I've seen people selling tiny little nuggets, and like you can hardly see them. That you know. So there's the market has moved to the times that we live in, and that's the sign. That's the big sign that I've recognised, because if there wasn't a market in it, then the product wouldn't be out there. But now it's all over the place, and it wasn't there.
It is, and it's interesting you say that, because I think these sorry, mate. I think these goalposts, these entry points are going to continue to change, and that is why. And we talk about going in at the fractional, maybe more popular nowadays than the ounce. These different entry points, it sort of supports the message. And someone put this in the chat before, that it's never too late to start stacking. And when you do decide to start, whenever that is, wherever the market's at, if you're going in with a sensible budget that's not going to leave you short where you need to sell, and you can be consistent and you enjoy it and you've thought about it and it's right for you, then long term you're putting yourself in a good position, and fair play to you. I'm going to read a few questions, and then there's there's a few good comments, and then there's a question from Jumpin that I'm going to read. I haven't ignored it, Jumpin. I'm saving it before we move on with the conversation from the chat. So some good comments that have come through. Glass of AO says, one of my targets is 1 ounce of gold in 2026. Fractional makes this possible. Yeah, I love that. McDonald Bullion says, I usually save 0.25 digital gold. Once I get to 1 gram, I take delivery of a 1 gram gold bar. Bars are usually scratched and used, but it's a really good way to save in gold, I find. That's really interesting, and it backs the point. These quarters soon make the gram. The grams will make the ounce if you're steady, It just might not be a quick process, but it's about consistency. And something I want to mention again, Andy, you said it before, not leaving yourself short. I could go and buy another gold sovereign to add to my stack now. I could spend nearly £1,000 on that, but in reality, I can't, because I need that money for bills, or something could go wrong with my car, or I don't want to go into that emergency stack. I want to stick, within a green level. I've got my line and I stick to it, and that's important for me. So I don't want to take that risk. Bond Collapse says it only takes 31.1 grams of gold for 1 ounce. So a gram every month. 3 years later, you were at an ounce of gold. That's a really good way to look at it. If you can be consistent for 3 years, by God. And if you're doing what Andy's doing in his series on his channel, and you're buying them, you might have them in a sleeve, or however you choose to store them, you're writing the date you purchased it, where you got it from, how much you paid, and you look back at that in 3 years, I bet you'll feel really good about the fractional pieces that you got when you look back. That'll be a really good feeling for you. So thank you so much for the comments, guys. There was a question from Jumpin that was specifically for you, Andy, from Jumpin into Silver. Shout out to you, Jumpin. I hope you're doing good. And he basically said, does Andy think that are these prices here to stay? I know we said we weren't going to talk about price, but it would not be a Sundays with Craven talking about silver and gold if I didn't ask the special guest, do you think these prices are here to stay? Question from Jumpin. What do you think?
Wow, how to answer that? Oh God. Okay, I have to be realistic. It would. I haven't got a crystal ball, I'm definitely not a market maker in a precious metals market. What do I mean by that? I haven't got the deep pockets to manipulate or for my favor or not my favor to move the markets. You need so much money, it's ridiculous to move the market. What I've seen that we seem to be with silver and gold, to be fair, we seem to have hit a plateau of what I call sideways movements with volatility, and I've been watching that very closely, probably over the last maybe six or 7 weeks. We just seem to be doing this now around this £60 mark, £65 mark, back to 60, maybe a drop just under 60, then it whips up a little bit. So maybe the market's saying, like, this is where we're comfortable for now, unless there's some weird thing that's going to happen, some sort of black swan event that's going to create FOMO, pandemonium, everyone getting upset over what's going on in China and here and there, and the COMEX and the Shanghai Exchange and AI plopping up all over the place, saying this is going to happen, that's going to happen. We seem to have got to this plateau of volatility that, to be fair, it's still volatile at the moment. But we seem to be ranging at this level. So with silver, I would say probably we could possibly be at this is the new norm around this area, but who knows? I don't know. But watching it over time, and time is massive when you're either investing or whatever you're doing. Watching it over time, that we do seem to have this slight volatility but sideways movement. So that could mean, possibly for me personally, the way I read it, that the market, whatever the market is quite happy for it to be in this sort of area, bouncing up and down with the trading that goes on in the futures markets and bits and pieces. That said, after what we've just witnessed, who knows? But I can't answer it any better than that with what I see. Do I want it to go up? Of course I do, because I've got a shit ton of silver. But sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Do I want it to go down? Not particularly. Like, none of us do. But if it does, it does. You know, at the end of the day. But I can't see it. That madness that we witnessed, it topped. For whatever reason, people can have their own opinions on whatever caused all that. But it topped, it dumped, and now we've got this level sideways action going on. Whether that goes on for the next 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, I don't know. Whether it lasts for another month, I don't know. But it is interesting that it is sort of plateauing out, but it's still got that volatility there. So, and there's obviously a lot of things going on in the world that may give people the excuse to do whatever they want with the market, you know. With gold's been interesting because I thought that maybe we will see a little bit more movement from a safety point of view with what's going on in the Middle East, but I haven't seen that really reflect in the movement of the price. But again, that might just mean we're just going to go flatten out until whatever's going to happen with oil and the big energy crisis that seems to be going on globally, and whatever this person's saying and that person's saying and whatever, maybe the markets are saying, okay, well, this is a nice level just to sit at, and then bang, it'll either go one way or the other, or just keep going flat. But it's interesting to watch that steadiness now after witnessing sort of, what was it, October, November, December, January craziness.
Yeah, and we've obviously seen it go back down afterwards, and there's things happening at the moment. I was expecting a surge again. Haven't seen it, but there we go. Now, hello
But what
to
do I know?
Electric Bloke.
What do I know?
Yeah, that's it. I just want to say hello to Electric Bloke. Thank you so much for joining in. It's good to see you in the live. Really good answer. No one has a crystal ball. Nobody truthfully knows. We all have predictions, but we don't really know. And it's just interesting to talk about. And a lot of people were mentioning that. So I wanted to put you on the spot there and see what your thoughts were and pick at your brain. But with the future in mind, talking about the future, not necessarily the price, but there's an indication to say, look, if people are holding on long term, that maybe buying fractional now, that it'll be worth more in the future. And then there becomes a point, Andy, of when you're looking to sell, to cash out for those that choose to do so in the future. So with everything we spoke about, if people are now deciding to buy fractional, specifically with gold more than silver, but people may start showing an interest in fractional silver as time goes on, as we spoke about, do you think one of the positives, so I know people have mentioned the premiums a bit higher and different things, and that's fair enough, but is one of the positives to fractional metals the fact that, and it's been pointed out in the chat, that when it comes to sell, it will be more liquid because it's fractional. You're not looking to sell an ounce of gold in one go where you need to find someone with £4,000 available. You're selling fractional, so it'll potentially be easy to sell. So is that one of the positives? What do you think about that when it comes to fractional?
Yeah, it definitely makes sense for sure. One of the fundamentals that I've had to learn is that when you want to buy, you have to buy from a seller, and then you operate a transaction at the level that you're comfortable with for both parties at peer-to-peer level. And I can't help but think that even at the same circumstance, that will never change. That will never change. If I now become the seller at some point in the future, and I've sold some of my physical stuff, I've sold some of my paper stuff. You have to find someone a peer-to-peer level, whatever that means. That could be a dealer, that could be whatever. They will offer you a price for that piece that you've got based on however that's going to be valued. If we're still operating in a spot plus premium, or if things have changed in 20 years' time, I have no idea. The rate of things, the way they're all changing at the moment, I have no idea what I possibly could be swapping my silver for. I have no idea. But the ethics will never be any different. You know, if fractional silver is in demand because of whatever reason, then you're not going to have a problem selling it. And the same will be for your kilos, for your 2 ounces, your 1 ounces, you know, of bullion I'm talking about, your 10 ounces. The fundamentals that I've realized, nothing changes. The value is in what do I want for it? Have I found a buyer that will give me that value that I see in it? Whether that's a 1/10, 1 gram, as I said, 2 ounce, 10 ounce, 5 ounce, kilo, regardless. So if that happens today and the market is still wanting to do that with precious metals, then yeah, I don't think it will change at all.
That's fair. I think it depends on where you're looking to sell that makes the big difference. If you want an easy, efficient sale, you can go to, the trusted bullion dealers, Atkinson Shards, and you can sell it, and they will probably pay spot, sometimes maybe 1% or 2% over or below, whatever they're offering on the day. If you want to really maximize what you can get out of the sale, you're probably looking at private sale, which is potentially a situation where it would get more difficult. Now, Benson, whilst we were talking, Benson put in the comments, he's noticed that copper has took off with a lot of people buying this stuff here, guys. So I thought it'd be a good time. Yeah, there's some lovely colorized copper you've got there, mate, with the dragon. That's beautiful. I've got a 1 ounce copper round here as well. And there is another 1 ounce copper round to the left of me, guys, because we are going to be doing a giveaway soon. So stick around for that. 41 of you in the chat right now. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, hit the like button. It really helps. But Andy, just quickly on this, because we don't talk about it loads, but I would like to, I actually spoke to you about this yesterday in a chat with Diaxis. Why are people paying so much for copper? Because for example, a 1 kilo copper bar, germanium mint, stunning, absolutely lovely. They look amazing. I'd love to own one, but I'm not sure exactly what that's worth intrinsically. And if anyone in the chat knows what a kilo of copper is worth intrinsically, feel free to drop a comment. I'd be interested. But people are paying over £100 for one of them. That's not an investment. Why? And copper is selling out in some places. So what are your thoughts on that, and why is that happening? Is it just like a trend? Is there something I don't know about? What's going on with copper, Andy?
A great question, mate. And I'm a plumbing and heating engineer by trade. I've been all my life, so I've got an affiliation with copper, and I've just back in the day I bought copper bits just because it's a great talking point for videos. But what's really interesting, I've noticed the copper rounds coins that are out there now on your whatnots and bits and pieces, and I look at it and I think, oh my god, people are paying like well over the top for that. So
yeah,
I've just sat there and thought, okay, I wonder why this is going on. And a couple of things come to my mind: trend, FOMO, and I actually mentioned it on one of my videos. And when I was talking about cost, and I briefly said about copper, and if that was a baseline introduction for someone to get into the feely touchy stacky feely thing, having these things, at a really cheap price, getting them in your hand in capsules. They look lovely, got great designs. Sorry, it's upside down. Got great designs. And if that sort of gives you that urge to get into stacking and maybe get into silver, then yeah, it's great. It's a great novelty thing to have. It's a talking point. It's a visual thing, and it can really get your juices going to actually start to explore the world of precious metals afterwards. I know it's a baseline metal. It's not really a precious metal. The other thing that come to my mind was, and I'm not sure how cute people are, the copper has done very reasonably well as a metal in the marketplace, for it, in the big industrial use type marketplace.
Yeah,
It's had an amazing year last year. So as that sort of made people sit there and think, oh God, maybe that's going to be the next silver or the next whatever, the next platinum, I don't know, whatever. And that could be a mentality behind some people's. I'm not quite sure many people will look at it that way, but definitely the people the sellers out there that are doing this as a fair play, as a either a side hustle or their job now, they've seen the market and they're pushing it out there. So that can produce a trend, that can produce FOMO, and as we all know, we can buy crazy things and learn something about afterwards. It's I can't see anything overly wrong with it if then afterwards you sit there and think, oh bloody, that's not really intrinsically worth what I've just paid. It's really I don't know, probably worth 10% of the price I've paid. I don't know if I want to resell it. The other thing as well, I did have a deep thought, outside the box feeling that maybe we're starting to see something new happening, and maybe the cost of living crisis will produce a new trend in stacking and copper, and the way the designs are beautiful. I mean, you can't knock the design. I've got some beautiful 1 kilo coins, absolutely beautiful.
The designs show up so nice. Copper as a metal is stunning.
Incredible. are we seeing this new because of it's more affordable, a new craze that might whittle off, but just not whittle off totally as time goes by, and then it'll find its marketplace price, and then it could develop from there, or it could just die. It could just totally die. It's a really interesting thing what's going on, and it seems to be linked in with all of a sudden people paying £10 for 10, 12 quid and going crazy on a gram of silver. And it seems to be linked into to that craziness of affordability, and I want to get into this stacking lark because it looks good and whatever. It's an interesting time. It's an interesting time, but things have to start from somewhere, and maybe we're just seeing something new coming about. Maybe, I don't know, and the market might find its level, and we might all be surprised, and I might be really happy that I bought these coins for, I don't know, £1 or whatever. I don't
know. Who knows? The future will tell us that, and I'm sure we can look back and know the answers. Thank you to Benson's and Josh McDonald. I believe somewhere between 8, 10, maybe £12 if it's scrap, or maybe a bit more. That's where a kilo of copper sits, according to those guys. But they're selling for over 100 quid. So, like you said, 10% actual value for what you're paying. I mean, just on an investment side, it's crazy to me. Is there something we don't know, guys? Who knows? But yeah, from a hobby side and aesthetically, goes without saying, the copper is truly a beautiful metal. And that. Oh, go on. You've got a point.
I was just going to say, but that for someone that might have done that and just done a bit and thought, oh bloody hell, I've just lost 90% of what I've just paid. That's perfect and they might whatever be in a position. That's perfect for that person to educate themselves and say, okay, I could have bought 3/4 ounces of silver.
Yeah.
And wouldn't have wasted, would have paid a premium, obviously, but all of a sudden you're not paying those premiums that you would on other things. And so, yeah, happy days. Maybe some people might come from that experience. They might just walk away and think, oh God, never again, bloody precious metals, what a load of shit. Or they might turn and go, oh, look into silver, but I can't really afford too much. But, oh, my God, it makes sense. I can actually buy some fractional silver and bring my cost to premium ratios down from what you were paying out for copper. So, yeah, it's a good thing as well, maybe.
Yeah, thank you for sharing those answers, and thanks for mentioning copper in the chat. I think it was Benson's that mentioned it. It's really interesting stuff, and it's all relative. And it's happening at the moment. Now, I'm going to stop this conversation here for now. I'm really enjoying this. I hope you guys listening are too. 42 of you tune in live. So thank you so much again for choosing to be here on your Sunday night with myself and Andy, CPM Creative Precious Metals. So something I've brought back, it was tradition when I started this, Andy, which was a question for next week's guest. So I'm going to let you think about that in the back of your mind, because I'll get that from you at the very end. But last week's special guest was the Humble Stacker, and it was fantastic to talk to him, to get a perspective from a stacker across the pond. It was really good, and an absolute gent that he is. I really enjoyed that conversation. Now, he left these questions. They're not necessarily, they can be about anything. You can throw someone under the bus. We've had what's the meaning of life. We've had all sorts of weird and wacky things, like what's the worst lie you've ever told, stuff like that. It's just random, and it's a bit of fun. But the question he left for next week's guest, he didn't know who it was going to be. He didn't know it was going to be you. It was whoever it was, and obviously we're assuming that it wasn't going to be a vegetarian, was, when's the last time you had steak? And if you did, what steak was it, and how was it cooked?
Okay, it was about a week and a half ago. It was ribeye, and I cook it, and it's medium rare.
There we go. Sounds really good to me. I do like my steaks medium rare. We always find a way to talk about food here on the podcast, guys. You know how it is. It might come up in conversation after. This is what we're going to do now. We're going to sort of take a short break, because I want to show you what is up for grabs this evening. There is going to be a giveaway. Normally, I would ask the special guest for a number that would be set for this. I forgot to do that beforehand, so I've got a number in mind. Don't worry, it's not rigged. I know what number it's going to be, between 1 and 30, and that'll be coming up. That's how you can win it. So wait for that. I'd like to show you what's up for grabs, and this leads us on nicely, guys. When I'm showing you this, start thinking based on the conversation we've had, or maybe things that we haven't spoke about yet. Some questions you'd like Andy to answer. If you've got a question for me, that's great. But normally for the special guest. And I will read through your questions, and we'll do a bit of a Q&A session before we move on to the giveaway. Really interesting conversation. But if it's all right with you, Andy, I'm just going to show what's up for grabs in tonight's giveaway. Okay, I'm going to make this full screen, guys. I couldn't get it to go widescreen, so I apologize for that. But you can still see fairly clear. It's just a bit smaller. So we have got poker chips. I know you love poker chips. They are currency in the community. So this is Shiny Silver's poker chip, and that is lovely and up for grabs in tonight's giveaway. We've also got this lovely purple poker chip, which is, hope you can see this clearly, by the way. It's Queen Nessie's poker chip. We've got a 2,000 members limited edition Brits and Sovs Stacker Social poker chip, if you haven't got one of those. We have, I love this design, I say it every time, really nice colours. This is Ice and Fire poker chip. We have Silver Stackers poker chip. That's a really nice poker chip. We've got one of these, which I found, so I've chucked it in. It's a limited edition Stack 'em on Pokemon poker chip. If you don't have one of them, there is one up for grabs. We've also got one from Scottish Bullion Collector. Love this, with the Scottish flag on there. That is in there. We have got Benson's, one of his many poker chips. Benson has more poker chip designs than anyone I've ever known. So yeah, last man standing, limited edition Benson's poker chip. And lastly, but certainly not least on the poker chips, the thoughtful stacker, guys, Ian Atterbury, the sniper. You have been sniped. This was a duplicate sent to me by, I believe, BBA. Might be wrong. You did send me some stuff, BBA, so thank you. But that's in there, Ian Atterbury. So there's poker chips, guys. Now, there is going to be some metals, but I'm going to keep you waiting on them. Save them till last. I've got a Stacker Social merch bag. These were sent to me by Brits and Sovs. It includes a wristband. There is a key fob, which is really cool, with Stacker Social on. And I didn't realise this first, but there's also a bottle opener in there as well. So there you go. Now, stickers. Oh, my goodness. I've never seen so many stickers. So let's get through these. Let's whiz through. So Queen Nessie sticker. You're going to get a limited edition Little John SWC sticker. Look at that. Look at that for a sticker. Crown Cast Silver sticker. There you go. Pour some beautiful silver. You've got the mini Stacker Social sticker in there. You've got the original square Stacker Social sticker in there. You've got a Stacker Social QR code, business card type. Now, Brits and Sovs. That's the first one. Loads of Brits and Sovs stuff here. He sent me so much. There's Brits and Sovs other sticker / logo. This, I really love this. Silver Stackers limited edition sticker. This is great. Another Brits and Sovs smaller version. That's really cool. There is also the sniper Ian Atterbury, the thoughtful stacker. One of his stickers in there, guys. See, Alpha Hordian knows how to make a good sticker. There we go. Look at that with a lion on there. This one as well, Scottish Bullion Collectors sticker. We love these in the community. If you don't have any of these, that's great. If there is some that you do have, then you've always got some to do trades and swaps with. Now, this is a business card from 365 Days of Silver, the anonymous face with a bag on his head holding silver. And on this side, if I can get it right, that's got the Side of Salman and TSC on there as well. So they're really cool. And we've also got Ice and Fire. This is a business card. This is really nice, two-sided, lovely design, love the colours, along with his stickers. So we've done poker chips, we've done stickers. Now, let's move these out of the way. You want to see some metals? We are giving away some metals. Now, I can't take full credit for this. I get the joy of sending these out, showing you, and I really enjoy doing that. But this is only possible because of you guys. You donate, and I really appreciate it. And I will tell you who these are from. So we spoke about fractional silver tonight, myself and Andy, you guys in the chat. There is some fractional silver up for grabs. So what we have here, we spoke about it a little bit. I'm not going to take it out of this. I'm not going to touch it because it's not going to be mine. So someone might want to put it in a capsule and preserve it, whatever you like. But that is, sorry, guys, it's not the clearest, I know. I'll move the light a little bit. But that is a 1/10 silver Britannia. I think these are going for about maybe £12, something like that. And yeah, really nice little silver piece. So that is the first bit of silver up for grabs. We all love a bit of silver. And it's in line with what we spoke about. Now, this might make you laugh. Just quickly, shout out from that. That was from Silver Stag Stacker, who donated this. So make sure you say thank you to him. And for myself, thanks for donating it, mate, along with the other bits. This is from Ice and Fire. And this is, we spoke about really fractional. I didn't even know these exist. Are you ready for this? You might even be able to see it. It definitely won't focus, guys. But this is a silver bar. I'm not sure why it's in a sleeve. It's not really necessary, as you can see. But that silver bar, it's not a 1 gram. It's 5 grain. So I don't even know what that weighs, but that's 5 grain. And you know, it's really kind. It made me laugh. And that's from Ice and Fire. It's pretty cool. That's in there. So someone can also win that. And talking of Ice and Fire, there is a like a key fob sticker there as well in a pack. And what we're also going to be chucking in, I believe this was also from Ice and Fire. We spoke about it. It's hot. It's trending. Really cool. I've got a 1 ounce copper round, guys, as well. It's beautiful. Liberty there. Absolutely love this copper. Really, really nice. Let's flip that around. So yeah, we all love a bit of copper. It's in a nice capsule as well. So you can win all of that, and we will come to that before the end. It'll be through whoever guesses the number. And lastly, I nearly forgot, guys. Goodness me. I don't think I'll fit all of this in there, but I'm going to put this in a Cardiff Gold zippy bag. So there we go. I'm going to switch the camera. I think that's a really cool giveaway, and it's down to you guys. We have a really generous and giving community. If it was just me, I wouldn't be able to do giveaways every week, but people keep sending me stuff. So I'm obligated to put it together and do these giveaways. So thank you so much, all the donators. Good luck to everyone, and we'll move to that shortly. Just before we move to the chat, Andy, I've really enjoyed this episode so far. It's always great to speak to you. What do you think of that giveaway? I think nice few items there up for grabs.
It's one thing that hasn't changed. Is the generosity of the people that are in the community, and that's incredible to see that that's still going on. Yeah, it's amazing. It's lovely. It's lovely to you know, people to be able to send that to you, to be able to do this and make a difference, because someone might get that again. You know, you can look at that and some people might go, oh, it's not a lot or whatever, but fundamentally just receiving it and having it and feeling a part of something can make a difference to someone, and they can get on that journey, which is great. It's fantastic, dude. It really is.
It is. And to be fair, I get excited about running the giveaways. It's so exciting, like a kid at Christmas. There's all these different things, stickers, especially the poker chips. I love the poker chips. I've got your poker chip. Trust no one, verify everything. It's a good catchphrase, mate, and very, very true in most walks of life nowadays. But yeah, guys, there's lots of good stuff up for grabs, and thank you once again for this. So let's just move them across there, maybe put that there. But yeah, let's do a little segment here where let's have a look. What are we saying? Right, yeah. So a few comments. I'll quickly touch on this before I move on to the Q&A, which you've got some questions, guys. Put them below. We'll do a Q&A. Any questions for Andy or myself? Now's the time to do it. We'll focus on the chat. But a few people are asking me, when do we get a Craven poker chip? Ever since I got the first batch, I think I got 50 or 100 at the time. They all got dished out. I have yet to get some more. I'm really sorry. So I do have stickers, Little John ones, but I know people want chips and people love their poker chip collections. So I really need to sort that out. I don't have any yet, but I will get some. That's a promise. It's a promise. Just like I will get this blimmin' tattoo that you guys have mentioned. Somebody asked about it before, so I'm not ignoring the question. I will get Little John shoving his staff into a shark's mouth, tattooed onto myself, because I guess I promised to do that. So I stitched myself up. But anyway, enough about me, guys. let's have some questions in the chat. We've spoken about a lot of things tonight. Really interesting conversation. Do we have any questions? Benson's got to take the cat for a walk. Okay. Yeah, Benson, I do believe you do actually take your cat out for a walk. That always cracks me up. Not many cats need walking. It's normally the dogs, but that's hilarious. Enjoy walking the cat. Diaxis, I'm all out too. I need to get another batch. Tattoo ? I want to see the zoo trip. Yeah, there's not going to be a zoo trip, mate, but very funny. It's good to see Diaxis in here, the world's #1 producer. Shout out to him, mate. And I hope that your PC is on the mend. Stop posting spider emojis in the chat, guys. I don't want to see any spiders. And honestly, if any of you send me some sort of spider-related thing in a mail call, that's it. I'll just never speak to you again, okay? Finally, we got some questions, Andy. There we go. Let's do. Queen Nessie with the first one. Question for Andy. What's the most you've weighed in at the coin change machine? I'm going to have a go at that. That's really interesting. Yeah, what's the most change you've ever cashed in at a coin machine, mate?
That was interesting because I did that on Friday, I think. That's the second time I've done it. And the time before was just over £100. But what I didn't realise is naivety, learning. I was in Tesco's. Every little helps. I mean, it's a great it's a great phrase. It's a great phrase. But there's a lady on the till in the machine, and after it's done all its counting, because I showed it on the video on a short. I've done on a count. I'm thinking, surely it was a little bit more than that. And the lady, I won't mention her name, but the lady said to me, "Oh, Andy, they charge you 11% commission."
11%.
11%. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure I'll be doing that again.
You'd be better off going the bank.
Well, yeah, exactly. Or the post office.
Yeah.
A lot of the high street banks are gone now, but yeah, for sure. I didn't realise that. Obviously, I didn't pay attention last time. Didn't even know about it. And when she told me, I walked out there. Yeah, great. That was change. That was just sitting in a box that I just throw in. I've started it again, and I thought that was a great way of saying to people, if you do that, then you can go out and. It's another way of getting your quarter ounce or your half ounce or whatever, But yeah, before that was £100, but it was probably more because I didn't even know about the commission rate. But it's really funny because I said to my wife, I think it was yesterday or the day before. No, it was yesterday. I just said to her, I said, "Oh God, they just have you everywhere, don't they? You go out, you get taxed on earning your money, you get the pennies, you save them up, you exchange them. It's probably not as easy because they got rid of the banks or most banks now, and they're still charging you. Even they're just taking it away from you all the time. So that was a massive lesson. Learn something that it's available, but I think I'll put it in the group. Yeah, it's a great idea, but just bear in mind that you're going to lose 11%. But it's not as bad as losing 90% on a copper piece, I suppose.
No, it's not in comparison. And Queen Nessie responded to your answer, mate. Queen Nessie was the one who asked the question, of course. Wow, daylight robbery. Thanks for the heads up. So there we go. BBA says, 9p a pound they take off you. That must be where he's been before. It's a lot, really, considering for the service. If they said like 2%, okay. Cool, but 11%, 10%, yeah. Right, you see, the special guest always gets, Andy, the good questions, the questions about the metals. And that. I get this. This is what I get, mate. You ready? Nerd, and I'll tie this in with Noxuko86 as well, who said, question for Craven, what is that ring on your wedding finger? And Craven says, when did you get married? Guys, I'm not married. This is a ring purchased for me when I went on holiday about 2 years ago by Miss Stacking with Craven. I also bought her a ring. It was just a gesture. It was in the moment and it was nice, but I'm not married. And that's all I'll say on that. But yeah, there you go. Shiny Silver says, Is that a spider on the wall in the corner of the room above Craven's head? No, it's not. And before somebody says it, no, my door is not moving. There's not a shadow over there or something over there. I'm not playing these games tonight. Okay. What have we got? Diaxis says, I cashed in a load in my bank in their machine, cashed in about £150 of Shield 50p's when they scammed me with a duff bag of Shield 50p's. Oh, sorry to hear that.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, I know people like to do the 50p bags, the change, like the coin hunts, looking for the the rarer designs and different things. But I'm pretty sure there's banks check through them, or at least the staff. Surely, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I've never done it.
You'd like to think so, but do you trust any banks anyway?
No. Nerd UK says, I use the roundup feature on my bank app. It just throws all your odds. All your odds, yeah. So it's change in a savings account. Now that is a great feature, and if people are doing that, well done. But if it's physical, what Andy's using is physical cash. So he gives notes and he's got this change and he puts it in a tin somewhere. Then he's looking to, once it's built up to a good amount, it's that. But it's the same idea, just with real cash. There's obviously this fee if you do it that way, which is not great. Love the questions, guys. I want to see some more questions. Where are you guys tonight? Silver Serpent says, question for Craven, why have you not considered the 10th Gold Britannia? I have, just like we discussed with Andy this evening. We have. I just have, I don't own a 1/10 ounce, but I certainly would. Yeah, you mentioned what your thoughts were on the 1/10, and it's certainly, well, I prefer a 1/10 to buying a 1 gram. I know obviously it's more money, it's more weight, but that would probably be a really nice entry point now. Yeah, what's a 1/10? I'm trying to. How much is a 1/10 right now? Is it about 450, maybe 480, something like that? Probably around. I'm just saying, in comparison to say a half sovereign, are they around the same neck of the woods price wise?
About 429 on Atkinson's.
Yeah, just because I do have an overall preference for gold sovereigns over the Britannias. So then there maybe be that discussion to have. But look, I certainly do consider gold 1/10 now. For sure. Guys, I'd like to see some questions for the special guest. We're getting questions about spiders and stuff, Andy. Because I let it slip that I'm not the biggest fan of spiders, and now.
Yeah, I'm not either, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not that I'm necessarily scared of them. I just don't really like them. And if one's crawling down, the back of the bed or something, I'm not comfortable with it. I can see some questions coming in for you, but there's one more here for me. Question for Craven from Silver Serpents. If I sent you a 1 ounce silver coin with the Australian funnel web spider, would you keep it? Provided the Australian funnel web spider was just a design on the coin itself, then yes, and that would be lovely. You, of course, don't need to do that. But if you mean you're going to send me just a random silver coin and an Australian funnel web spider in the mail call, no thank you. That would be horrific. That would be horrible. No, I don't want for that.
Nice looking coin, actually.
Yeah,
it's a nice,
I have seen them. They're really
nice
cool.
looking coin.
Yeah, some questions coming in for you now, Andy. You'll be glad to know, mate. Not about spiders. These are the good questions. Nerd UK says, Andy, are you only getting capital gains tax free silver or any fractional you can get?
Okay, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
I think I will probably do the capital gains for the first ounce, maybe. And then I may just, from a content basis and my learning curve around, the 90%, the 925 thing, which I've started to do a little bit more research on, as I highlighted earlier.
Yeah.
That will creep into the videos as well, because it's all weight and it's going towards that 10 ounce challenge. So yeah, it won't all be Britannias. it will be probably a mix, but I've stuck to a closest budget that I can of £30 a time. So I know I went over very slightly before. I was really surprised by bullion by post that I thought they'd be a lot more expensive than what they were, but yeah, I want to try and stick to that £30. So with my new learning curves, great question, nerd. Yeah, I'm going to look at, look at all aspects of it really, because at the end of the day, it's the silver weight that's going to get me there, and hopefully encourage other people to do the same. So yeah, it's going to probably be a mix, and I'm hoping this is like a real hope case scenario that maybe if we continue with this price thing, and fractional is going to be sort of more the thing that the majority of people can afford going forward, then we're going to see different designs coming up in the fractional stuff, more than what we've seen before. So, and that create a lot of interest as well. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
It's supply and demand, and if the popularity is rising for the fractional stuff, they will look to grow those markets with new designs and different things. It's bound to come our way, and that'll be interesting to watch. But a great question and a good answer. We've got a few coming in now, which is good to see. So I'll go through these without wasting any time in between. So Baron Vansky, question for Andy: what is your favorite coin that you like the most? Also, what coin do you ever regret buying, if any? That's a really good question. I love those types of questions.
That's a really good question. I've got my favorite design coin always as a go-to whenever I get this question, and that's that one. You'll like this.
Yes, I have that myself. The One Ring.
Yeah. Nui. There we go. Yeah, Nui. That I just love the films, and I just love the design. It's got a bit of psychological meaning to everything, and I keep it on my desk and I look at it all the time, and it just reminds, obviously not all the time, I'm not obsessed by it, but yeah, it just reminds me of life. You yourself is powerful, and you can build anything from it. So it's a good little reminder, a good little nudge for me. But another very significant design which really got me into silver, I know these are all stuck, I don't want to unstick them, was the Bitcoin series of silver coins from Nui as well. And if it wasn't, and the reason why that means quite a bit to me is because if I hadn't really gone down the learning route, people will probably know that I'm into Bitcoin. If I hadn't gone down that route, I would never have probably found precious metals, because it was just an automatic thing for me to find. So that's got a lot of sentimental meaning to it as well. So but it's the ring coin that is my go-to. But then I've got loads of others as well. So to be fair, but they're the ones I always come back to.
That One Ring bullion coin has a place in my heart as well, as I'm a Lord of the Rings super fan, guys. I really am, and it's such a beautiful design, and it means a lot to me. So I'm with you there, mate, on that. But the other part of the question, just quickly, if you can, before we move on to the next, because there's some great questions coming through. He wanted to know: is there a coin that you ever regret buying at all, or like a least favorite?
Not least favorite. Regret wise, I have paid quite a bit of money for some of the collectible stuff
that you then regretted.
Probably at the time, but I don't now, because the prices have gone up.
Yeah, but you've held on to them. You haven't sold.
Oh no, definitely not. So, but as a rule, everything I've got in my stack, from a collectible, from a bullion point of view, I've got no regrets with any of them. I do, unfortunately, wince a little bit at some of the prices I pay for some of the collections I collect. But that's part and parcel of that thing that you do if you can, and
Yeah.
it's like the latest. The problem I have now is because I'm very into investing as a rule. I'm always looking at the fundamentals of the capital I'm putting into a certain subject, a certain product, and I'm weighing up that, oh God, if that doesn't move in a certain direction, then I've wasted some capital that I could have, made 1 or 2% on somewhere else, But you've got to draw the line. You've got to enjoy what you do as well,
Yeah.
So it's like, for argument's sake, the latest Great Engravers coin that I bought. I've got it here, but I won't unpack it, or it takes forever unless someone wants to see it. But yeah, you're paying such a high premium for 2 ounces of silver. It's ridiculous. But I've got every single one, so it's lovely that's a beautiful collection to hang on to, and that someone down the line in the family will hopefully enjoy that as well, at some point.
And it's worth saying, with certain collectible pieces, for some people, they're not buying it necessarily as an investment. They're buying it because they really like the design and it makes them happy. It's just like treating yourself. It just happens to have an intrinsic value that will go up over time. And if you're holding it for ages, it's funny, really. These collectible pieces, the spot price eventually can actually go above what you even paid. So, yeah, loads of questions, Andy. I'm going to move through these quite quickly. And if there's a way where you could answer the question, how could I put this?
Quicker.
Kind of like a quick fire. I'll go with that because I kind of don't want to miss any of these great questions.
Is it yes or no then? So just do yes or no?
No, not yes or no. Just yeah, we'll see how we get on. There's different questions, but
okay.
Shiny Silver says for CPM and Caravan, of course, Caravan. Is there any new release silver coins or bars from any country that you really like the look of that you'd like to buy? I've not been looking at new releases, if I'm being honest with you. If we just talk about sovereign bullion coins, I'm a sucker for a Britannia. I know that's so boring. Yeah. And I really, the thing is, I want to get more American Silver Eagles, but I actually prefer the Type 2 over the more modern Type 1, just a personal preference. So if I was to say new releases, I will give you an answer that's better than that. I would say the Kookaburra, just because they're really, really nice, and there is a new design each year, which is really cool. So, and they do a great job with them. So I'd say maybe the Kookaburra would be for me. What about you, Andy?
Yeah, exactly the same. I would have turned around and said to you straight away the Cook, because I like my Cooks. I still haven't got the latest version. That's probably because I was so put off because I've got to answer it quickly, haven't I? Sorry, the Cook. I won't say why. And oh God, the other one, the Year of the Horse. I think the Perfect Year of the Horse looks really cool in the Series 3 Lunar collection. I haven't got that yet, but they're all at massive premiums. Although they have come down now, so I might treat myself.
Yeah, that's good. I laughed because when you were speaking there, Shiny put, I killed the quick fire questions. Yeah, we'll keep moving, guys. That's funny. Jerry Mandra, and this is totally off topic, by the way, but I love it. I'm going to ask it. If you put it there, guys, as long as it's respectful, I'm going to ask the questions. Jerry Mandarin 6. Question, Andy, how many miles do you have on your car? I'm curious. I've had my car for years. Saved a load of money not buying another. How many miles do you have on your car, mate?
Oh God! Well, great question.
It is. No one's ever asked that before. I love questions like this.
I think it's about 6,800.
Nice. I've got 22,000 on mine. There you go. A unique question. I'd love to see it. Benson says, question for Andy. If you had to send a coin in space for the aliens to see and get an impression of humans from a coin design, then what would it be? Bit different, as I know you like out there stuff. That's amazing, and it's even funny. And I've asked Andy to answer the question slightly quicker. How the hell do you answer that quick? What a great question, though.
That's a brilliant question. That is so
Well done, Ben.
That is so Benson as well. It's oh my god. Man, a Bitcoin coin, because hopefully that becomes something that we all do. I don't know.
Do you know what? I'm going to just keep the questions flowing. This is great. I'm just going to fly through them, see if you crack under pressure. Le Poop 7 Colors. Sorry if I butchered that. At what point do you sell silver? I just bought my first silver and gold. At what point do you sell, Andy?
When you need to.
Okay. CY Sterling. I just bought some 1/4 ounce Brits. And the S8 on the S8 over forum. So is that the silver forum? I'm not sure. For £22 each. Well, £22 each for 1/4 ounce Brits. Yeah, well done. CY, that's a bargain.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
That's a really good price. Yeah. I'd be doing the same at that price. Well done. Michael, Craven, do any of you have pocket pieces? I do not. But if I did, it would probably be the Rocking Horse Crown. What is that? One just the Britannia, or is that the
1 ounce?
1 ounce?
Yeah. Always keep a 1 ounce Britannia in my pocket. Although it's a bit annoying because it rattles, but hey ho.
So you've got a question here. You know, of course, you don't need to answer this, but Nox Sakau 86 says, CPM, do you own a full Bitcoin? Is that just like next? Nerd UK says, question for Andy, would you accept silver or gold in payment for your services?
Yes, of course I would.
Yeah.
I'd absolutely would easily do that. I actually do suggest it sometimes as a bit of a funny thing. If I'm dealing with a customer and at the end of the job they go, oh, how do you want me to pay you? If they're new, I say, well, I'll take Bitcoin, gold or silver, but if not, a bank transfer or cash.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? To be fair, to be paid in real money, gold, silver, or Bitcoin. I know you like your Bitcoin. Let's keep flying through this. This is great. I hope you're enjoying this as much as me, Andy. I think this is brilliant.
Yeah, I love it.
Good. BBA, question for Andy. Is my sticker still peeling off your board?
No.
No,
it's not. It's that was just something was so funny. Very quickly, when I used to do the Whiskey Wednesdays, I used to go through everyone that's ever sent anything, and I always got to BBA's sticker, and I always had to push it back on because it was always peeling off. But no, it's all nicely, because I don't do so much of that, but it's all nicely tucked away with everything that anyone's ever sent me, and I've kept it, and I've kept absolutely everything in a box. So hopefully one day, if it ever needs to come out, you'll see your peely sticker.
There you go. Silver Serpents 505. Good to see you, mate. When it comes to 2 ounce coins, Andy, do you like a 2 ounce coin that is thicker or larger diameter? These questions are starting to get funnier, by the way.
They're really cool. Dude, I ain't bothered. If I like the design on it and it's 2 ounces and it is 2 ounces, then yeah, whatever.
Okay, let's keep going. Benson's question for Andy. If you could put a mythical creature on a coin, what would it be?
My wife.
I take it she's not around to hear that.
She's not, but she probably heard it somehow.
Great Lakes Joe says, hey there, fellow stackers. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Joe, that's great to see. What have we got? Shiny Silver, Andy and Craven, what is your favorite color? Mine would probably be purple.
Mine's red.
There you go. Let's keep going. I'm struggling to keep up. CY, Sterling, question for you both. Will you be going to the Berlin World Money Fair 2027? I 100% will be. I had tickets and everything to go to this one, and I got ill. What about you, Andy?
Good question. If it makes sense for me to go, I'll go.
Okay. Villainous Bounty says it's not the size of it. It is the motion of the market that matters. Absolutely. Absolutely.
100%.
There's a joke in there somewhere. Right. I think I managed to get to, there's no more questions. I'm going to stop that before people throw more in there. We've had favorite color, thickness, diameter. I love that Q&A. And do you know what? I like the format where I just keep reading them and say, look, you can't take as long to answer them. I'm just going to fire them at you. So that was really fun. And for all of you guys tuning in live that got involved and asked those, I enjoyed that so much. And Andy, you're a great sport for answering that variety. And Nerd UK has popped one more in. I think we can do one more. We'll do one more, but that is it. I'll draw the line there. One more for Nerd UK. Question for Andy: if your image was put on a coin, would you have profile or face on?
I'd rather be dead, dude.
That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. I love it. That was so much fun. Andy, keep thinking, mate, because I'm going to ask you before the end for a question for next week's special guest. But I think it is time, guys, that we do the giveaway. I've showed you all this beautiful stuff that you can see right here. There is 1 ounce of copper. There is an abundance of stickers, poker chips. Courtesy of Silver Stag Stacker, there is a 1/10 Silver Britannia. We've got a 5 grain silver bar, 5 grain. Now that is hyper fractional, if I've not seen anything like it. That's from Ice and Fire, and so is the copper round. So thank you so much. And yeah, loads of really good stuff. And I thought of a number. Now, do not do anything until I say go, because it will not count. Really simple. Here are the rules. I'm going to put go in the chat, and when I do, you can then comment numbers. The number that you need to comment, just guess. I've got a number in my head. You need to guess the number between 1 and 30. 1 and 30, 30. First one to get the correct number will win the giveaway bundle on this episode of Sundays with Craven. So there you go. So I've got the number in my head, and I'm going to get go ready, but do not do it. And shout out and hello to Vegas Stacker, who has joined. Thank you so much for joining, mate. Good to see you in here as always. Right, so between or including 1 and 30. So between and including. So any number which could be 1, could be 30, or anything in between, but nothing over or nothing silly like minus. I can see people putting numbers. I haven't said go yet, so tally would, even if that was correct, it's not going to count. Vegas Stacker says, great to see Craven back at it. Great crowd. Hope all is well with everyone. Thank you so much, mate. Lovely comment. It's great to be back and doing this. I've had so much fun on this episode with Andy and you guys in the chat. So I'll say no more. We're going to start this in 3, 2, 1. Put your numbers in the chat now. There we go. Right, I'm watching the chat. Let's see. First one to get it. Who's going to get it? Stop. Oh, my God. The person that's won this. Stop. Somebody's won it. Oh, my God. People are going to say rigged. Right, let me...
Access?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, hang on. No, I might... Oh. No, it's not. It's not who I thought it was. I'm so sorry. Someone's before. I think it's the comment before. It is on my screen. Oh my God, this is awful. I've got to go off my screen, guys. I'm going to reveal the number to you, and there's going to be someone who is going to be disgusted by the chances of this. The number was 13. I went with 13, and I thought, because it was flying, I thought it was Diaxis, who's not with us tonight. But just before, sniping just like Ian Atterbury does on Whatnot, was Glass Velo Bullion, and I'm going by my screen. Sometimes it's different on your end, but I've got to keep it fair. I've got to go off my screen. And on mine, number 13 was just Glass Velo. And can we have someone please? And I'm getting some rigged in the chat, right? It's not rigged. It wasn't Diaxis, okay? Can someone kindly cross-check that for me? Someone to say, was number 13 first commented by Glass Velo? If somebody could just check, and we can just say, look, somebody else can see that as well, I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, so John Clayton's got Glass, I agree it was, says Ian Ritchie. Thanks very much, guys. Yeah, I think we'll take that. I think that's fair, Andy, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. I can't see the chat, so.
That's okay. Yeah, it is on my screen, but Diaxis, if you're still watching, mate, I'm really sorry. One day you will win a giveaway on this podcast. I promise. One day. Even if we have to actually rig it to get you to win a 5-grain bar or something, we'll make sure it happens, mate. But in other news, yeah, congratulations to Glass Veo, my friend. You have won all the poker chips, the copper, the silver, the 1,000,000 stickers, all of it. That's all yours. Drop me a message on Discord or send me an email. Send me your address. I'll get it all sent out to you. Thank you so much. And to anyone that Diaxis has said, Andy, that he's unsubscribing. I don't blame you, mate. I don't blame you. Yeah, I'd do the same. Oh, sorry, Diaxis, mate.
I should look forward to our next group chat.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not going to be happy. But yeah, honestly, guys, this was so much fun. The last 2 hours has flown by for me. Andy, as always, my friend, you are such a pleasure to have on this show. And I'm really thankful for you choosing to spend your time this evening on this. Thank you so much for being a great guest, as always.
No worries, dude. It's a privilege, and I've got, the nice thing is I've got a lovely message to put out there now, and it gets a bit of exposure, and hopefully we can update again in maybe 6 months' time, and we can see how it's going. But I'm sure you'll know. But it'd be really cool just to keep that going. I'm really intrigued, and I'm personally dead excited too. And I'm adding weight to my own stack, so it's win.
Good. I love to see that as well. And you're always welcome here on this podcast. You know that, so it definitely will be take free incoming. Ladies and gentlemen, there's still 33 in. Thank you so much for this evening. You've been an amazing audience. The chat has been so active. And that Q&A, I'll be honest, was the most fun I've had doing a Q&A as a host. You guys were flying in the questions. There was fun questions. Andy, you're a top sport. That was brilliant. It really was. So don't forget, if you haven't already, I'll say it one more time, cheeky plug, please hit the like button. It really does help. But before we wrap this up, Andy, one more thing. One more. I know you've done all these questions tonight. You're sick of questions, but I actually need a question from you. I don't know. Well, maybe I do know, but I'm not going to confirm it yet. Question for next week's special guest. Do you have one?
I do. Yeah.
What would that be?
All right. Okay. I thought I had to keep them short and sweet. Sorry, I'm playing.
You're okay now. It's fine.
The question, before I do the question, can I just say, if there's any mothers in the chat, then happy Mother's Day. It's a big special day for all the mums out there. I don't know where I'd be without my mum. So, yeah, well done for your patience for putting up with us and bringing us up into this world. Dude, the question will be, if you could change something on your body, what would it be and why?
Wow. If you could change something on your body, what would it be and why? That's really interesting. I wonder who it's going to be next week that's going to have to answer that. You guys will have to see, because we will be here 7 o'clock next Sunday. It would be great if you could join us once more. I hope you've enjoyed. On that note, guys, thank you so much once again. We're going to call this a wrap. Andy, thank you. Guys, on that note, I hope you have enjoyed, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And go and take some good momentum into next week. Have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye. Thank you so much.